spot.
Just give me a... Can you hear me, Corey? I'll let him figure that out. No, that's okay. Okay, Corey. Is everything good? Sorry, I'd lost you there. Yeah. All right. Bye.
Okay, just get everybody situated.
Okay, ready to go.
Okay, I think everybody, you guys good? Okay. My name is Staff Sergeant Kevin Bailey. I'm the Contract Policing and Sales of the RCMP in Prince Edward Island. At 9 o'clock this morning, the RCMP and PEI received a call from the RCMP in Ottawa advising that they had received a threat in Ottawa by fax against the schools in Prince Edward Island. This was received by fax. The fax was forwarded to the RCMP in Prince Edward Island. This fax indicated that a bomb had been placed in a number of schools in Prince Edward Island. It didn't specify which schools. It did state that the bomb would be detonated. At that time, we put our emergency plans into effect. We advised representatives of the three municipal police forces and also advised the RCMP district commanders across Prince Edward Island and contacted the school boards in Prince Edward Island. As a result, police officers have attended all of the schools in Prince Edward Island. To my knowledge, there's been no injuries. There was no threat found. We're also aware that there's been similar threats received at schools and campuses in Nova Scotia and other jurisdictions. And one of the things we're following up at this time is whether or not those threats are related to this one. At this point, we don't know who is responsible for these threats, but there's an active investigation to identify the person or persons responsible. Does anybody have any questions?
And has this ever happened in the history of PEI before?
Not to my knowledge. I don't recall such a threat against all the schools in Prince Edward Island.
Were bomb squads or extra personnel brought into the schools to check for bombs?
Police personnel did attend every school in Prince Edward Island to my knowledge, but there were no bomb personnel that attended the schools. To my knowledge, there was nothing suspicious or no threat located at any of the schools.
Were dogs brought in?
No, they were not.
Was there a time where they said that the bombs would be detonated?
No, there was not. The message stated that the bombs had been placed in a number of schools and would be detonated today, but it did not specify the time.
And how do you evaluate it in terms of taking this type of action?
These type of threats are very hard to evaluate as far as credibility. I think generally we like to err on the side of caution. The safety of our students and school staff are everybody's primary concern, and then as a follow-up to try to identify the persons responsible, because this disrupts a lot of lives both in the schools and with parents and guardians. So
how you evaluate a threat, whether you take this action.
Well,
he
said,
not.
I think in evaluating threats, we've got to err on the side of caution, and then in consultation with our partners with the school board and that sort of thing to determine what's the best course of action to take.
How much time went by between the time that you received the threat and the time that all the schools were evacuated on the island?
I don't have the exact time frame. Within 10 minutes of us receiving the threat, we had reached out and made contact with the school boards in Prince Edward Island.
And you had said that the RCMP and all had that this was also affecting some schools and colleges in Nova Scotia.
Yes, we are aware that there have been some similar threats made to schools and colleges in Nova Scotia, and also I believe in at least one school in the United States.
What's your message to parents right now?
Message to parents is to stay calm.
that, what has to happen though in order for parents and teachers, staff, students to be assured that the schools are safe?
I think if a search is done of the school by the staff and there's no given the nature of the threat, it was very specific. I would feel safe if my child
Specific how? Specific details of when, where, how, what was in the schools?
Well, the threat indicated that a bomb had been placed in the school that would detonate today. And, basically is go through the school and see anything suspicious. Is there any packages left? That sort of thing. And there's nothing suspicious noted in the school that
Did he give the name of the school?
no, the threat indicated that there was a bomb had been placed in a number of schools, but it wasn't specific to what area of the island, what type of school, whether primary, high school, or whatever.
And at some point, will you rule this threat to be, not real, or at what point do you come to that conclusion, or how do you come to ruling on the threat?
I think if we check all the schools and nothing suspicious is found, and given the nature of the threat, if nothing is found, then I'm satisfied. I'll be satisfied that the actual threat was a hoax.
What do you mean exactly by given the nature of the threat? Does that mean it's not as kind of not serious, or?
Well, I don't want to get into the specifics of the threat, but at this point we're investigating whether it's linked to multiple schools across multiple jurisdictions, and certainly if in fact they are linked, then it would appear that maybe one or more individuals are sending out these kind of a blanket message.
Remember it came from, obviously.
That we are conducting an investigation, certainly using all measures available to try to identify the person responsible for this.
But the threat initially went to the RCMP in Ottawa?
That is correct, yes. And I think sorry.
So thank you for this. And so just to recap, earlier
We'll get you to say your name and title, please.
Parker Grimmer, Public Schools Branch Director. So earlier this morning we received communication with the RCMP on this matter, and we started the process of bringing together our team that would follow our procedures around this to determine the next response. And it was decided in cooperation with the law enforcement that we would first off evacuate those schools so that those students could be safe. The safety of students is ultimately our priority in all matters. So we would prepare and have those students out of the school evacuated. The second process was to make sure that they went to their safe locations, which were pre-established areas that had been designed by schools previous to and practiced around for different situations similar to this, where they would know to go. Then there was a decision to assemble our transportation system to make sure those students could be taken safely home, those that traveled on our transportation system, and communicate to our parents as well the next steps. And we were able to assemble that group by 11:30 this morning. That process is still ongoing, but given the nature of the training, we were able to put things together as quickly as we possibly could, and it would have been communicated to parents that we were moving along as quickly as possible. I noticed on the drive over here, I went through a number of communities where the schools are, and I have to say how impressed I was to watch everybody coming together. Parents were there and responding. City crews were out controlling traffic directions. There was a police presence, of course. School officials have performed incredibly, both principals and their staffs, and all matters. So that is really encouraging. I know there'll be a process to look at this afterwards, but primarily we wanted to ensure the safety of those students and to make sure that we could ensure their safety, and through the people that we've worked with today, we feel we've accomplished that.
What's the plan for tomorrow?
So now, once we complete the process of having students safely at home, we'll then go revisit those schools in cooperation with law enforcement services. We'll make sure that those schools are places that students can return to. We will be ready for tomorrow to have them back in the building. This is not a normal day, and this is a day that I think we've responded to well. but we can learn from some of the things that we've gone through today. It's early in the school year. Students and staff were practicing their safe plan and reestablishing them. This is an extra reminder that we need to do so. I think tomorrow will be a good day for the students to
Starting at the regular time.
starting at the regular time. I communicate some different messages at this point, but I'm very hopeful that staff will be able to get through those schools. As was mentioned, they have a skill to be able to see if anything's out of place and make sure that those environments are right.
Was there any thought in evacuating any of the school administrations, like the school boards and that type of thing?
Not in our discussion on school boards, but in our discussions early on when we were evacuating schools of all personnel, and we were not allowing personnel to enter the school. Communication is challenging because we were sending out a lot of email communication, and of course for some, those emails were attached to computers in their schools. So we assembled an incredible team, both the Department of Education as well as the Public Schools Branch and the French School Board assembled very quickly an incredible team that was on the phone, chasing down ways to communicate. And we say, we'll take that back. Able to make a decision in their interest.
Year is very early. Were they able to go through the evacuation plan as of this early and into the year?
I can't say for that for sure. I try to find out. I do know that early in the school year, schools go through a procedure with 3 or more fire drills, and then usually by October, that's usually when they start to reinvest in their safe plan. But many students in schools would have been there previous year, and certainly their staffs would have been, so there would have been some familiarity. Can appreciate the challenges and the stress that it would be for kindergarten students and their parents. Again, our staffs are so capable of responding and making people feel comfortable, and I think that would be a huge part of this is that kind of relationship that the teachers were having with those students to help them understand what was going on, to find a way to calm them through this.
How do you react to this, just personally, this happening?
Don't think that I'm personally reacting at this point in time. I'm working with a team, and we had a job to do because of this situation, and we had procedures to follow, and that was really important that we had a system by which we would address the issue, have a conversation with the police, with the law enforcement about it, and then come up with a decision and communicate it across the board that everybody was aware of. All levels were informed, and there will be an opportunity to bring this and to discuss how we can improve this if we ever have to do this again, and also how we can ensure that our students are safe through all this.
Do you feel that enough was done to try to notify parents of what was going on? We had a lot of parents contacting us.
Well, thank you for working with us. You're a key part of the communication lines. We did everything we could, and we'll look at that to make sure that if there's more we can do, if it was to ever occur again. I think I heard somebody ask the constable whether or not this had been happened before. I think this is new to us, so we're reacting in a new way to it. But we have plans and procedures, and I think we've followed them.
Parker, when do you expect then this afternoon to be all clear?
As I leave here, I'll return to the team that's been working on this. They were working as I left, and so I know that we'll have a lot more comfort. The first thing that we needed was communication from those schools that we had. Communication and bringing it back and make sure that everything had to be visible and safe, and every school was ready to start again.
Are you concerned at all about the safety of staff, the fact that they're going to be the ones identifying any potential threats?
I don't think we've outlined exactly the process yet by which we will identify those potential issues. It could involve some staff, but only when there's the all clear on the building, and I believe we've got some messaging around some confidence that there was an all clear. It may not be all staff at all times. It may be some staff. So
Are any staff in the buildings right now?
not at this moment.
They're not allowed in right now.
Not at this moment. When I leave here, we'll go to the next step. But your question about is there concern? Always concerned about the safety of not only our students but also our employees and the work that they do.
So just to clarify, the threat came in, it was one threat that came to RCMP in Ottawa via fax.
really get into the specifics on that. I think it would be better for law enforcement to do so. But we were informed of it, and through our process of cooperating with those law enforcement agencies, the decision was made that not only our 56 school branch schools, but also the French language schools were going to be evacuated first, and then those students were going to be transported home.
Do you know anything about when it was decided that UPEI and all Holland colleges across the province would be evacuated as well?
I'm getting this with you right now, so I can't comment on that, but it would seem to be consistent with the responding to this not normal, significant threat and the safety of our students. It's of paramount importance to us. We'll err on the side of caution. We hope that we are just being cautious.
And you hope you don't have to deal with this again.
I sure hope that we don't, and we'll make sure that we review this process so that we can ensure the safety of our students in the public schools branch, and as well ensure that they get the learning opportunities each day that they need.
Parker, can we expect an update from you for the media and everyone this afternoon?
First of all, I'd like to send out a great appreciation to everybody, parents, staff, students, for their support and their patience through this, and the general public, and as well as you media. We will communicate with you when we know more, and we really appreciate your support and help with this. You're a key part of how we get this message out.